Adventure abounds in the action-packed Diesel Arcana world of Bana, where magic is tempered by science and daily life is shaped by incredible magically engineered inventions. The government of the Commonwealth and the ethically questionable syndicates compete for the hearts and souls of the people, while you and your fellow freelancers work from the shadows to defend and serve the Commonwealth, or to sell your skills to the highest bidder. In a world where vat-grown elemental motes power the machinery of industry and war, and the demiplane of the void holds secrets beyond imagination, you will find yourself at the crossroads of fortune and fate. As a lancer, you embrace the unpredictability of Banor, taking on dangerous assignments and facing the unknown with steely resolve. The sprawling city of Rinmark lies at the heart of this ethertech empire, where tall aeroships glide among the skyscrapers, and the lower levels of the city echo with the sounds of forging elemental cores. But behind the glimmering facade, dark forces plot, ancient entities lurk at the periphery, and the very balance of power teeters on a knife's edge. As you delve into the secrets of this world and uncover the mysteries of ancient artifacts, your paths will cross with other intriguing personalities from around the world. From government agents to shadowy criminals, from elemental savants to curious outsiders, your choices will shape the destiny of the Commonwealth and define your place in this world of both machine and magic. Embrace your role, harness the elements, and let the adventure unfold in the pulsating heart of the strange and grim.
There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Strange and Grim, a Everyday Heroes RPG setting we're calling High Life, based on the subject matter of the adventure so far. This is, like I say, this is episode 3 on the GaryCon YouTube channel, and our agents, our freelancers, have gotten into the mix in the lower levels of the city, hunting down a new street drug called High Life that is apparently, as we just found out last adventure or last session, more than just a narcotic. Has some magical properties as well that has piqued their interest and furthered along their investigation. But before we get into any more of that, I will introduce our players. Let's introduce our players, and I'm going to start with Milynn up in the top left.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Milynn. I like puppies, and you can find me everywhere on social media at my name, Milynn Moon. And except Twitch, I'm the gamer chick. I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm a variety streamer, and I play Dr. Priscilla Precious. And I'm going to tell you nothing so that you are forced to watch the prior episodes.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, Kyle, how about you?
Hi, I'm Kyle Vogt. You can find me at Twitter at Kyle Vogt, and Instagram is Kyle.Vogt. I do streams whenever I can. You'll see me here every other week, and I'm playing Doc Steele, one of the independents that got dragged into this crazy thing that we're trying to investigate.
All right, down to the bottom left, Erik. Not to be confused with Aaron.
Hey, hey guys, I'm not Aaron. Erik Wahlberg. I'm playing the Colonel. He's a military man, also has a side hustle as an agent here on Strange and Grim. And you can find me at Dad Jokes and Dragons on TikTok. We do cosplay, fantasy-based D&D, and jokes and puns.
And they're great.
Oh, and I forgot
Thank you.
I forgot to Erik you. All right.
I find
Char,
them reprehensible myself.
No.
Okay, Char, aka Aaron. Not at all confusing.
I'm Char, aka Aaron, not Erik. I am a freelance RPG designer. I do the layout part, not the game design part. And I've been role playing forever. And I can be found at at Irregardless, which I'll spell in the channel. Oh, nope, Nightbot spelled it for me.
Yay, Nightbot.
Hey, Nightbot. Just about everywhere. So find me there. And I am playing Erin Warsaw. She is a Hobkin fortune teller. She's got some psychic powers. She can see a little bit into the void sometimes. But she's discovered that, you know, this new drug is super great because she can see into the void like way better now.
Yep. Yes, that is a thing. It's supposed to be a consequence, not a benefit, not a positive.
I mean, I feel like the consequence is eventual death, maybe.
Right. Well, yeah, there is that part.
But
and I am Matt. Go ahead.
But the void is great.
Yeah. I am Matt Everhart, and I am the writer of Strange and Grim, along with Luke Gygax at Gaxx Worx, getting ready to go to Kickstarter with our source book for Strange and Grim, which again is an Everyday Heroes RPG campaign setting or game setting in the world of Baynor, which is a Dieselpunk. Well, I mean, it is a Dieselpunk, but set in imagine in the 1930s or 1940s, Eastern U.S. or Europe type environment. So that's the setting. That's the setting that we're in right now. The stream itself is sponsored by many of our great supporters for GaryCon, including Hero Forge, Trollord Games, Frog God Games, Fat Dragon Games. And I'm gonna miss the rest of them. There's they'll scroll across here in a second, and I will call them out as soon as I see them. We have 6 great sponsors, including Hero Forge, which I hope next game we will have our heroes, our freelancers here in mini format from Hero Forge. We were gifted some keys from them, and now we're gonna make all of our heroes in 3D miniatures from Hero Forge. Fantasy Grounds, of course, is another one, and Gaxx Worx. Yeah, of course. Okay, so with all that out of the way, as I mentioned at the first part of the as part of my intro, we are in episode 3, and the group here, the freelancers, are trying to track down the source of a illicit and a dangerous drug called High Life. It's been a street drug that's been causing some problems. They were initially introduced into this by a friend of theirs at Red Rita's Lounge, who was worried about her brother who disappeared. And since trying to investigate his disappearance, have come across, have escalated their investigation and expanded just how deep this goes across the city, and to include what sounds like a great number of bodies that have been turning up at the morgue, and a raid on a drug den which they nearly burnt to the ground. So,
wasn't really it was like
what's that?
Accident.
Yeah, it would totally accidentally burn it down on purpose. Yeah, so that's where we're at right now. We are actually in Renmark itself, which is the capital of the Commonwealth, is in a caldera. So they've long ago populated and built out the basin of the good grief, I'm having trouble talking. The basin of the caldera, and so they've started building up the walls or the sides of this caldera, and this makes Renmark a leveled or tiered city. And the higher you go up, the more affluent and more well-off people are. So where they've been conducting their investigation has been in the basin, or the lowest level called Factory. And they're now up currently on the 3rd level of the city, where they are outside of a bookkeeper's shop, which was a contact of Aaron's, trying to translate a note that they found that was written in some sort of occult or cryptic runes. So that's where we find ourselves right now. Doc Steele has just wrapped up his conversation with one of the police officer who was tailing them, thinking that they might have something to do with the drug. And Aaron is waiting inside for the bookkeeper to finish the translation. Milynn is Dr. Precious is working on some robots, and Erik is also, I believe, outside. So I'll turn it over to you. Tell me what you want to do from there.
Detective Briggs walked away. I'm taking it. He's not really there anymore.
Yes. So once you passed contact information to between each other, he excused himself and headed out.
I think that's all we need to get out of him. Let's go inside for now.
That visit was both strange and grim.
I walk in.
Yep.
Inside too.
Walk in. Look for
Okay.
Look for Rosalind. See if she's still in the back with Aaron.
Yes. So about the time that you come back in, Rosalind is coming out of the back room, and she has Aaron with her, and at roughly the same time as when Dr. Precious looks up from her mouse robot that she's working on, and she says that she figured it out, and that you were correct that it was an address, but it sounds like it was the apartment complex that you were at. So it was I lost
1738.
17. Oh my gosh, why am I not seeing it? Yes. Anyway, the address was the apartment complex which you were already at before, and the translation of the rest of the script. So 1719 Mercy was the translation of that number and address, and the rest of it said that the harvest is nigh. Translated to the harvest is nigh. One thing I did fail to mention in our intro there was that the people who succumb to this drug, it seems to be very dangerous, and there have been several deaths that they've come across, but unfortunately those dead people don't seem to stay dead, as a couple of corpses that they were investigating in the drug den got up and started to try and attack them, which is, as it happens, what started the fire in the first place. So that is what she found out. She said there's nothing else remarkable about the note that you brought her, but that the language itself is some sort of ancient goblinoid or ancient orcish language, runic language.
All right. Well, thank you for your help.
Can you
Oh,
repeat?
of course. You're welcome anytime.
Can you
What
tell
was
me
that?
again, please?
Yes. So it had an address on it, which you determine is the address of the apartment building where you were at, 1719 Mercy. And then under that, it said, the harvest is nigh.
I still say that someone who's working there must know something about this harvest and those dead bodies in the bedroom.
I agree. We should probably go talk to the one that's in the hospital. He's probably the least likely to get away since he's missing a foot. He doesn't have a leg to
That's
stand
right.
on.
He
If it
is
was.
missing a foot. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Oh, my microphone.
I don't know how that could have happened.
It's really weird.
Stranger things happened. That building just burst into flames for no reason, it seems. But
It
we
really did after you lit it on fire.
Usually that's not what happens.
But
We
that,
did have a strange encounter outside.
that wasn't the reason. The zombies were the reason. They carried the fire around the room.
They did spread it quite a bit.
That is valid. That
We
is
did have
also
a strange
thing that did
interaction
happen.
with a detective outside. He was inspecting us, it seems. He was thinking we were affiliated with this, but we convinced him otherwise. However, he did give us some information for the coroner down there that has been collecting some of these bodies. We may want to talk to them for more information as well.
And probably warn them in case they come back.
Yes, if they start animating, that would be very detrimental.
Yeah, the
Aaron?
detective led you to believe that there were multiple bodies in the this is just the local morgue down on factory level.
Mm-hmm. Aaron, you did say something about possibly being used to harvest energy from the people who are taking this drug.
I saw these mysterious tendrils of energy just emerging from everyone who had taken it. And they were all going in the same direction.
If they're just using them for batteries as a resource, it would seem odd that they would maintain a connection for control. So I suspect it might be more than just using people as an energy source. It could be
controlled the people who were under the influence. I certainly felt no control.
No, once they died, they activated.
Didn't have those connections anymore.
I thought there still were, but you were the one who were seeing it. I'll ask the mastermind. Do I remember if it was any tendrils on the dead things? I thought they were still there. Because she saw them inside the room with the zombies.
Aaron saw any zombies. Did you see any zombies when you were?
Oh yeah,
I went in the room.
Yeah, I was in there
when they were animated.
Yeah. I
You
poked them.
Don't
came to life.
Yeah, that's when they started attacking.
Yeah. So you did see they were still connected. Yes.
Oh, they were still connected.
If I didn't describe, that was probably my fault for not describing it.
No, I thought you did, which is why I just thought I remember saying it was a little faded. It wasn't as bright, but they were still connected.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, rewind a few seconds.
Well, your memory kind of gets shooken up when you're on that kind of medication, so it doesn't surprise me.
Now
that
you're right. I did say that they were connected.
It makes me think that it's more than just as a harvesting source. It seems odd that they would maintain this connection and animate these bodies afterwards, unless they were planning on using them as, say, some sort of invasion force.
Like a harvest?
Well, the harvesting is probably part of it. But I was thinking, what is the possibility that one of the other worlds that we built the void to protect us from is actually using this as a secondary method, through using the void as a medium in order to invade by using puppets here of dead people? In other words, they would have a sleeper army that's literally lying in the morgues or lying in the graves that they could summon at any time to attack people.
That's a good point. I wonder if they are raising. Go ahead.
I suggest we go immediately to the morgue and cut off all their heads.
Does that stop them?
I don't know.
All right.
Seems like it would hurt.
I would assume cremation is probably the best method, but that's just me.
I got a knife.
It's faster than the other. Although the morgue probably does have a crematorium.
Well, that is a good question, though. Are they raising an army of zombies, or
well, it seems like
maybe it's just a side effect, a bit of a dead giveaway.
True. It would be a cold open to any kind of an attack, though. I'm just thinking that this seems like a lot of resources for them to spend.
I don't even need to be here.
Because if it's a very bad logistics if they're wasting energy and effects and animating things without a purpose. And they obviously responded to us when we were there and were investigating. It's not like anyone had reported this before. So it seems that something noticed us interfering and decided to trigger it. I'm just suspicious. If you're more familiar with the void than I ever will be, Aaron. Is it possible that one of those other worlds could be using it as a medium for this sort of control and transmission?
I'm going to roll a cult. Because otherwise I could just BS it. I got an 18.
You have not seen that before, but it's certainly not impossible. You do know with a roll of an 18, you do know from your studies that the void itself was created as a way to, as Doc Steele alluded to earlier, as a way to prevent outer planar influence. But as the name suggests, it is a void. So if there were a way to penetrate into the void or get into the void itself, then yeah, in theory that would absolutely be possible. You do also know that there have been instances of creatures that have either been trapped in the void when it was created, or that have themselves been created from the creation of the void. In other words, that the creation of the void has produced its own sort of creatures in and of itself just by existing.
So, Doc,
Mhm.
when I think about it, the void, the creatures or whoever this is might be in the void itself trying to get out, or it could be something coming through, but that seems harder.
I'm
than-
suspicious that it would be a beast, because this seems like a lot of effort, energy for the beast to build a drug creation and then distribution method in order for it to be able to be dispersed throughout its target audience. This seems to be very intelligent for something that you would consider a beast.
I never said beast, though, did I?
You did not, but I was going off of the idea of things existing alone in the void.
Sentient.
Yes, and let me expand on my explanation, because maybe I wasn't clear. The way that Aether works is essentially spellcasters molded into a what they call a void spirit, and the void spirit is usually temporary until the effect goes off or the spell falls apart or ends or whatever it is. Occasionally, what are called radicals will persist after the spell has, very, very occasionally, rarely. But aetherists have discovered that these radicals will develop on their own after they have been created. So a radical spell could persist beyond what the aetherist was, what the spellcaster was attempting to use it for.
And would that ever be able to become sentient?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, the aetherist class itself, or the aetherist, creates what's called a icon, IKON, and that icon is an intelligent void spirit. Yep. Intelligent in the minor sense, usually.
Mm-hmm. So it is possible that this is what we call a void spirit, perhaps a remnant of a large ritual with multiple people all casting the same spell. Usually they're sentient, but not smart enough to coordinate something like this, but perhaps some effect large enough could create a larger void spirit. Or we just don't know what's going on yet.
It's true. we are speculating. I mean, as far as we know, it could be some sort of creature that uses these tendrils and sort of like an anglerfish for bait. And we haven't seen these animated corpses interact very well yet. As far as we know, it could be spewing some of this drug upon contact and spreading its connection and feasting that way. Who knows? We'll have to look at it some more.
I wonder if you can make the drug from those corpses.
Probably you shouldn't be making that drug in general.
I feel like there's some
for science.
I feel like there's some non-dead, non-void creatures involved in this business. I mean, people that are making the drugs, distributing the drugs, they must have some kind of cult or corroborator or some kind of garbage.
I'd agree. There's probably someone who's profiteering off of this, some capitalist who's taking it far too literally, that you have to work someone to death. As far as we know, they could be doing this in order to make a completely independent workforce that will never stop and never tire. Who knows?
Well, maybe we should split up.
Doc Steele, your assessment was correct when you were talking about the bodies, and for the audience, when they walked in and when the good doctor did his initial assessment evaluation of the corpses, they were definitely dead, and it was a few minutes after the examination that they started to animate and come to life.
Well, the question is, do we go speak to the individual in the hospital first, or do we speak to the coroner first?
I don't see why we can't split up.
I agree, we could. However,
I mean, if this was a medieval fantasy role-playing game, you wouldn't want to split up, but this is real life.
I was thinking more along the lines of I would be needed in order to get you into the hospital, as well as I have the contact and have the relationship for the coroner. It might be more fortuitous if I went to both locations.
Why don't we go to the coroner first, just in case there's a zombie invasion we need to head off? Head off.
Yeah, I
Hey.
get it. When it comes to puns, you're a dead ringer. Right.
I agree.
So I guess we go to the coroner first. All right.
Okay,
So
going to the coroner
go down
first.
to the coroner.
Yep. So as the detective mentioned, it was down on the factory level, so you got to go back down through from level 3 down to level 1. That takes you about an hour's worth of footwork to make it to the police station / morgue, the police precinct on the first level / morgue, and you get there, and it is approaching lunch. No, actually, we were getting closer to evening, so the place is still open, but it looks like they're trying to shut down for the day. You know, kind of cleaning up. There's somebody out front sweeping. The doors are still open, but you kind of get the glare from the staffer as you walk up. You know, why are you here at closing time?
I pull up the detective's card.
Okay.
The detective sent me down here to speak to Dr. Patterson.
Oh, okay. Well, then, you know, I guess the coroner's still in. I suppose you might catch him before he leaves.
And who is this, or do we have any inclination?
This guy on the steps. It's just a staffer. Yeah, just a
Okay.
literally
Gotcha.
one of the hourly guys.
Thank you, good sir. I'm gonna.
He mumbles.
Gonna be the
something
NPC,
under his breath.
the doc, right?
Exactly. He's the one who's behind everything.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I say to this gatekeeper person, why so sour? I heard that to the morgue tonight. It's open mic night. Get it, Mike? Open.
I get it.
No.
Sorry for the deadpan humor.
Yeah, oh no, that's great. That was a deadpan reaction. So yeah, so you go in. The lights are a couple of lights in the front are off as if to deter any new people coming in. But as he mentioned, the coroner's back in his office. So you hear somebody rustling around back there. What do you want to do?
Walk up and knock at the door if it's closed, or at the door jam if it's open.
Yeah, door jam. Right, it's open. The door's open. Yes, you see some guy in a very stereotypical white lab coat. He is shuffling some papers and stacking them in a folder of some sort, and looks like he's trying to pack into his Dr. Go bag for the evening. Oh, you startled me. I'm sorry. What? Yes, can I help you?
Are you Dr. Patterson?
Yes, I am Dr. Patterson, and I was just about to go home. Thank you very much.
Sorry to delay you. I'm Doc Steele. I was sent here by Detective Sam Briggs. I had some questions and possibly some information regarding some of the large number of individuals that are showing up in your morgue.
So his reaction when you say Detective Sam Briggs looks like a little bit of maybe frustration or consternation of some sort. Yeah, he's that guy. God, he's always stay out of my business. I just want he gets. That's the impression you get when you say that name. But he's like, what? Did you introduce yourself as Dr. Steele? Okay. So he says, oh, doctor, great. What kind of help do you propose? I mean, yeah, we're always very busy down here on this level. That's just kind of goes with the territory, but certainly seems to have had an uptick recently, particularly in these very strange drug deaths.
It's a shame that this... Colonel, what were you saying?
How big of an uptick? Like, give me numbers.
he says we've been, just this week alone, we're up about maybe 20-25% higher than what we would expect. I mean, there's always, being down in this level, there's always unfortunates that pass away from exposure or malnutrition or maybe some sort of disease or industrial accident. That's fairly normal, but we have easily half of the people that have come in this week have been emaciated and completely almost husks of what what they once were. It's quite chilling.
This high life is very purulent intoxication. It literally drains the life out of them. Do you happen to have them isolated into a different side, separate for the investigation?
Isolated? No, we've got one room. I mean, they're in the main room in the back. In fact, we have so many we couldn't even put all of them on ice. Fortunately, the husks, as I mentioned, they're so desiccated already that we really don't even have to put them in the chiller. So they're just in the tables in the back.
I hate to impose, but would it be possible if we went and took a quick look while we talked about this?
Well, that he looks at his timepiece and says, "That's
I know
it's irregular. Are you able to come back in the morning at all?"
This might be something.
I
that
do
needs
have
to be
dinner
done.
plans.
It might be urgent because they might not be entirely dead.
Those bodies are going to come back to life like zombies.
That's not how I was going to broach.
That is quite a tale.
That's not how I was going to broach the subject, but we have seen some evidence that they are being influenced by the void, and as such, there is some post-mortem preamputation that's going on. So it would be best if we went and took a look just to make sure that these are dead, or at least take steps to make sure that they cannot cause problems in case this does happen.
Can I make an insight roll on this gentleman?
Influenced by the void. I studied a little bit of etherics in college,
I did as well.
Yes, Colonel, please.
I just want to see if I trust this guy.
Okay.
Did it come up? Looks like no, yes. What do we got here? Yeah, 14.
On a 14, he seems to be just trying to go home for the day. Like he's not upset or not trying to, doesn't appear as though he's trying to lie to you or anything like that. He's more annoyed than anything.
It's all fun and games till you have to burn a bunch of zombie bodies. I'm just saying, as I'm like casually like swinging a mouse, I'm like, do you want to have to deal with burning a bunch of zombie bodies?
We would hopefully be able to see if they're still being influenced, if we could take a look at the bodies.
Yeah, so you can tell that he is not delaying, but you can tell like mentally he's already kind of agreed to this. He's just seeing if there's any last thing he might say that would deter you. But you can tell that he's already like fumbling with his keys and he's looking to get back in the back and let you look at it. I'll let you back into the back room.
We can lock up after we leave. What's your dinner appointment?
Well, no, I mean, I will stay around. That would be entirely against regulation for me to allow someone back in the back without supervision.
That's totally understandable.
I will.
Plus, we wouldn't know where you were keeping things, so it would be best if you would accompany me.
Certainly, yes, certainly. Okay, so he says, "Well, I guess right this way," and so he proceeds into the back. Make a Constitution saving throw, Aaron, please.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, Constitution. 8.
Well,
good. Feeling good.
Rest in peace.
You are all of you are walking down the hallway. I assume everyone's going.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You're walking down the hallway, and all of a sudden, Erin stops, and her eyes go wide, and you keep on walking, and she stands in place. She just stands in place.
If I notice it, I stop and I look back.
You do notice it. Yeah, she's probably not like mid-sentence or anything, but she definitely abruptly stopped and is looking off into nothing.
Aaron,
Is she like?
go ahead.
Is she blocking the hallway?
I
No.
don't think she's
Oh, no,
big enough
not
to
at
block all the way.
No, definitely not big enough to block the hallway.
I wasn't sure how small the hallway it was, but great. I will keep going.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. So this is the main, like the main hallway of the
Oh,
building.
got
So
it.
it's,
Yeah.
it's,
So they
it's
have
plenty
like
wide.
for gurneys and stuff. Yeah.
Yep,
Plus she's only
plenty wide.
so tall.
Yeah.
Aaron,
She's a small creature. She can't block anything.
I'll kind of lean forward, interface, and go, Aaron, why so standoffish? And try and wake her up. I'll kind of like shake her with a pre-arm.
Yep. Okay. So she does not respond. Aaron, from your perspective, as you're walking down the hallway and you see the overlay of the void, that double vision again, like has come on stronger, even more pronounced than when you had taken the high life drug itself. And you now see that there is a tendril coming up over your shoulder, and you see through the wall in front of you there are probably 12 tendrils of this pinkish ethereal or void-like etheric rather, pardon me, good grief, etheric energy going right through the wall into the room you're heading in. And you currently are kind of you're not paralyzed in like the magical sense, but you are stopped dead in your tracks from the surprise of it all.
Beautiful.
Colonel, could you bring Aaron along?
Yeah, sure. And I'll pick her up like a toddler and put her like on my right hip and just kind of walk forward.
Dr. Precious, do you have your robot sensor so you can determine whether these tendrils are available?
Huh?
You were working on your, I believe they were your nanobots or your skitter squirrels. You were trying to make them so they could detect this.
Just how far down the hallway have we gotten, by the way? Because I kept going. I was just like, oh, excuse me. I walked around her. I said that.
You did.
You did.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I mean, how far away have we gotten in this time that you guys have taken to like notice her?
Yeah.
So that's why
you
I'm turning around, I'm like, huh?
Yep. So you made it all the way to the door. If you just kept going, you made it all the way to the door of the. It's like a double door. It's currently locked with like little bolts in the ground. Latch bolts into the ground, but you make it all the way there, and you turn around. And you're like, oh, where is everybody? And you hear Doc Steele asking if.
I'm like, huh?
I continue walking towards the door with the coroner, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's a peculiar little thing, and keeps walking with you. He's getting his keys.
She's one of those who specialize in the void, so she sees some odd things.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Dr. Precious, I was asking if you had your detectors in your robot set so that you could determine whether these tendrils were visible.
Have I had enough time to do that?
Yes, it will cost you a point of
The genius point.
Genius point. Good grief. Yeah, thank you. It'll cost
For
you a
the
genius
robot
point in order
upgrade.
to do that. Yes.
Okay.
So you've basically given your skitterbots, until you take a long rest, you've given them the ability to perceive the void with a skill check. Very similar to what Aaron's able to do.
Do I lose the skitterbots on a long rest? Does that make sense? Like, because I had 2 skitterbot squirrels made. We haven't long rested since then, but I'm just curious.
Technically, technically you lose them. I mean,
Right.
From an RP perspective, you still have them around, but for their special ability, yeah, you would have to spend another genius point on it to make it work like you wanted it to.
Sure. Yeah. We haven't long rested since then. I'm just curious, like for the future, like play wise.
Yep.
I
Yeah, so
assume
it'd be very similar to a spell or something like that. Once you take a long rest, it would end. Yeah.
yeah, they run out of time or energy or whatever it is. Okay,
Mhm.
perfect. So I do have 2 Skitterbot squirrels. I would assume I use 1 genius point then to upgrade the one for detectors. And I'm like, I just hand him the squirrel.
Okay.
I just like shove it at him. I'm like, you can try it.
I don't know how to utilize your tools.
Fine, I'll just do it myself. And then I like push
Well,
him.
thank you.
And
Okay,
I
so
literally just look at the nanobots. I was like, can you just look for the tendrils, please?
yeah, okay. So it and for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, our engineer, Dr. Priscilla Precious, is handy with small robots. So she has several that she can create, including one that's called, or that is essentially a bunch of tiny robots that can make different forms. And so with those tiny robots, she can give it a skill, and that's what she's done right now. So she's given it the ability to look, to perceive into the void. So now you need to make me a perception check, please.
Oh, yes. I just crit.
Nice.
Oh wow, nice. Okay, yeah. So you've got this thing. You've got this small robotic squirrel on the palm of your hand, and you're like, okay, look into the void, and its vision is transferred to you, and yeah, absolutely. You see, depending on which direction you're looking. Are you looking towards Aaron? Or are you looking back at towards the morgue doors, or where you?
No, I've turned around to look at them. Like when he started asking me
Okay.
stuff, I was just like,
Yeah.
what?
So right.
Oh,
Yeah, right about that time, you see the colonel. He picks up Aaron, who's basically like a bag of flour, over his shoulder, and he's walking towards. But you see this unmistakable, like pink eldritch tentacle of energy now that is connected to the back of her head.
I like stage whisper to Doc Steele. I'm like, that's real.
You're gonna have to actually say it.
To say it,
It didn't. It
because
didn't come
the
through.
microphone didn't pick it up.
The
What?
mic didn't pick it up. The mic didn't pick it up.
Oh my
We'll
god.
take it as a whisper, though. We'll take it as.
Yeah. I I'm like, that's a really big tendril, and I think she's gonna die.
You see one on who? Aaron?
Yeah.
You don't
A
see
big
it?
one.
I was afraid of that.
Like a really big one.
Let's go into the morgue and see if there's any in there.
But why is it pink?
You would have to ask Aaron.
Okay, when you turn around and go, he says, all right, let's go to the morgue. You turn around, and like I described before, there's like 12 tentacles going through the wall into the morgue.
Oh, there's so many. I don't think I would like to go into the morgue anymore.
That does sound
I do not
disturbing.
think I would enjoy this.
Hey, coroner, is this place fireproof?
Dr. Patterson,
It is.
could you please open the doors?
Yeah, it's made of porcelain, porcelain tiles and brick and stone. So I mean, it's not likely to burn to the ground, but certainly the things inside of it. Yeah, he's like, okay, yeah, well, I mean, sure, that's why we're here. So he fumbles with the key a little bit, unlocks the door, and pushes his way in. He walks in first. He's pushing his way in, and as he does so,
I'm gonna grab him and sort of pull him back behind us as he opens the doors.
What?
There's gonna
What
be a
do
lot
you
of
want to
zombies.
see the morgue or not?
There's a possibility of some danger right now. We're just trying to keep you safe.
Danger? I work here every day. This is preposterous. And he tries to move towards the door again.
I'm not gonna fight him. I said I was literally just trying to keep him back, but if he's gonna shove his way in,
Sir?
Well, yes. And so from his perspective, he's not buying any of this. Like, what are you talking about coming back to life? Yes, go ahead.
Morgue, sir?
Morgs.
My squirrel, my robot squirrel, has seen tendrils of the void, many of them, touching things in there. And in my previous experience, that equals zombies. So it's really up to you, if you would like to go into a room full of zombies being controlled by the void, but I am just letting you know what the robot sees, and science doesn't lie. So you make your choices as an adult human, and I will make mine. And I take 3 steps back from the door.
He says, "Thank you very much for that interesting science lesson, but I can assure you these people are quite dead." And he pushes both doors open, and as soon as he pushes both doors open, as you probably have already guessed, like this, he's looking back over his shoulder. Look, this is perfectly fine, and this thing just goes and grabs him and pulls him back into the room.
I was planning for that, and I was going to try to grab him and pull him back out if possible, but if he's gone too quickly.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you can make, absolutely. So it grabs him. So he's turned like this, and something you see the head of a desiccated person kind of latch onto him, and he's pulling him in. But you can certainly reach for him.
Just want me to do an athletics grab?
Yes, please. Athletics or strength?
17 on the athletics.
Oh yeah, easy. Let me roll to just.
I don't know if it was advantage because I knew it was coming, so I was prepped for it, but it doesn't matter. I'll go with 17.
Let's see here. And while we're at it, go ahead and roll initiative. Sound like somebody already did. Yes, you beat me by about 10. So that's actually a major
success.
Check. Major success. Thank you. So you have no trouble pulling him out, and in fact, you can do with him what you'd like at from his position. So
I just grab him and push him back behind everybody behind. So he's safe.
Okay.
So I pull out my blaster. I say, I thought that cutscene wasn't skippable. That was a video game reference joke.
Yeah, right. So you pull him away, and he's got some scratch marks on his neck and arm from where you ripped him from whatever this creature was doing to him. But he stumbles back and falls on the ground. And, he's on his back in a typical horror movie. What is he's trying to scoot away from the door? What is that?
I look at him and I say, I told you there were zombies.
It is what we warned you about.
Yes, he looks at you in disbelief, but he clearly was wrong. All right, so the doors, now that they've been unlocked, kind of swing. And so after you pull them back, they swing out like this. And you see, as the door opens just barely, you do see a dozen or so bodies in there standing up. And then the door closes like this, and it comes back and finally settles, depending on how long you wait.
I start gesturing to everyone to start moving back as I pull out the acid shotgun.
Okay, Aaron, give me another saving throw.
Why would I want to stop seeing this? I got a 6.
Okay. So you are really you really want another dose of High Life. I don't think you don't have any, do you? It was on, I think Dr.
No,
took it.
I've got it.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
I have all the mostly empty vials.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna dig around. I'm hanging from Colonel's shoulder, and I'm starting to dig around in my bags. And they're clinking vials, and just starting to shove my tongue in them to try and get the stuff out.
Okay, Colonel. So Aaron starts to move and shift around, not trying to get down, but she's frantically searching for something. You hear her rumbling through and glass tinkling in her backpack over your shoulder. All right, so what do we get for initiative? That looks
18.
like an 18 for Doc. Okay.
I got a 10.
Okay.
14.
Aaron, go ahead and roll it. Thanks. All right. And Colonel.
Come up. Yeah. There you go.
Oh,
That one.
Yeah. This caught you totally by surprise. You had no idea this was coming.
Yeah.
You're what is everybody so worried about?
Aaron's very distracted.
Wait a second.
I'm lighting a cigar. Wait,
there
wait,
are
wait.
there are exploits you could use to save yourself in this situation.
That is true.
I'll be fine. You got the acid shotgun.
Okay, so the door has settled. The swinging doors have kind of settled back. And what are you going to do, Doc? Steele, that'll be you first.
Well, it seemed to work before, so I'm gonna boot open the door and toss in an inferno.
Okay. It definitely worked before. All right. So that's a saving throw on my part, right? Okay,
It
so
is.
you take a, I guess you move through the doors. There's no real action necessary to open them. So you kind of push the door open and chuck the thing in
push
there.
it in, and I'm not going into the room. I literally toss it in to get them and moving, staying in the hallway.
Sure. Yeah, I understood. Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure it's like, no, I'm not going into the fire.
You're not
Got
going to
it,
go.
got it.
into the light?
And it's a 30-foot radius.
30-foot radius. And my saving throw is what?
DC is 18. Ooh.
Right. Good grief.
So are you trying to split those rolls up as opposed to rolling individually?
Yeah. All right. So I had, it looks like 2. If the DC is 18, I had 2 that made it. The rest of them take how much?
I'm rolling it up right now.
Okay.
Uh, 24 points if they failed, 12 points if they made it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so once again, a massive blast of fire kind of erupts and blows the doors open temporarily, and you see everything just aflame. There's now these flames going everywhere, licking up the sheets, and everything bursts into flames, catches fire. It doesn't. You do see several of the guys maybe start to walk forward and then collapse down into the flames, but there's still several that are walking towards the door. They don't seem to be otherwise affected by the flame. I mean,
and I take a move action.
Dropping.
Yeah, I take a move action to start stepping back away from the door and gesture to Doc Precious to probably move back with me.
Okay. Aaron, give me Aaron, you're next anyway, so go ahead and give me a perception check, and you can try another Constitution roll if you'd like.
Perception 12.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty easy. The DC was only 10 on that one, so you notice that a couple of the tendrils wink out. A couple of the pink tendrils, like you're watching this waving, like octopus tendrils or something like that, going through the wall, and then a couple of them vanish.
Where'd they go? It was so pretty.
All right, give me a
Constitution 11.
Okay, you do succeed in getting some a couple of vials with a couple of drops of high life in there, and so you're currently in the process of trying to extract it from the tiny bottle, from the tiny vial. Okay. All right. Then we go to Milynn.
I will create an atomic rabbit for 1 genius point and send it in there.
Okay.
So, and I will set it. Actually, I have more than one robot because I have a mouse built too with a previous genius point. Can I send them both in, but only one does a thing? Like, is it a bonus action for me to see with the mouse? Like, can I send both robots in? Does that make sense?
It makes
I wanna
sense.
send-
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's You can
They would
only
have
really
to be
command one at a
separate.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
But you still have it, so the mouse is still available. You can do that on your next action.
Well, I guess I'll just have to open the door then. I will.
It's a free action to open the door.
What?
It's a free action to open the door.
Yep.
No, I know. I'm gonna like, when you like kick a door from like as far away as you can.
Sure.
I'm gonna like do that so I can see into the room where I want the rabbit to go for like the best blast radius detonation. So I'm gonna like quick kick the door and be like, "Go, rabbit!" And send it to a spot where I can like get the most zombies with the blast radius, and then I'm going to also like backpedal from the door.
Go gadget rabbit. Okay, yeah. Just by nature of needing to get around the gurneys and stuff, there's a group of them coming along the right side as you open the door. The rabbit goes in and makes a couple of rabbity type chirps. I guess they scream. I don't know if they ever chirp. They ever like?
No.
No,
Yeah,
not really.
I know they scream. He doesn't scream though. That would just be
They just
off-putting.
do like little
No.
nose.
Yeah, it does there you go. He does a little nose wiggle and boom, explodes. Another explosion in the confined space of the morgue. The doors again boom, blow way open. And what's the damage on that one?
15 points of damage
15. What's my
for
save?
everything that was caught in it. That's actually a good question. I'm not sure. I don't think it says on my sheet.
8 plus your ability bonus plus your proficiency bonus.
So probably
8 plus in bonus.
14.
8 plus int plus proficiency.
Yeah.
We'll
Which
say
is
14
2.
for right now. Yeah, proficiency's 2 right now. All right. Oh, dang. Okay, yeah, several more of them drop, and again, Aaron, you see these more tendrils wink out. In fact, you only see that there are 3 left, and the tendrils are they're coming down, and then they look like they're gonna touch the door, and then sure enough, the door opens, and these three on fire husks come walking through into the hallway.
Oh, here they are.
All right. Oops. No. Stop that. Sounds like.
So here's a question. These
Yes.
3 that just came through the door, did they fail their saves against my Inferno Bomb?
They failed. Yes, they did.
So at the beginning of their turn, they each take a d6 damage for burning.
Okay. Go
So
ahead,
they
roll it.
each take 4 more points of fire damage
4 more points. Okay.
each.
Hang on a second.
Oh, where did
Until they take an action to put it out, they'll continue burning.
Yeah, it seems likely. Seems like that's
Yes.
something they would do.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so we had Dr. Precious was up against the door. She opened it, threw a rabbit in, and moved back. And then Doc Steele had also backed up. And then we have behind them Colonel with Aaron over his shoulder. I'm assuming, well, I shouldn't assume. Let me ask what you did. The doctor was only
Exactly. I
5
pushed
feet
him
or so
back
from the doors.
I pushed him back
Yeah.
and kept him behind us as I moved back.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go.
Yeah, I'm not going to leave him standing by the door while we throw fireballs into the room.
All right. So for Dr. Precious and Doc Steele, Dr. Precious, you're 1 and 2. Dr. Steele, you're 3 and 4. Looks like a 1. So they had the 2 that are remaining, or sorry, the 3 that are remaining head towards the first person they see, which is Priscilla. And
Oh, no, thank you.
Yes.
I think her dance card is filled.
That's the best response.
Yeah, no, thank you indeed. I think one of them manages to get a paw on you. Let's see.
Ew.
a flaming clawed hand. I believe. I will look and tell you for sure here in a second. Where is
Your monster stats?
No, I'm looking for. Why is dodge not on the front? Why am I not seeing it? Oh, defense. Good grief. All right. Oh yeah, your defense is 11. So they hit you. One hit you.
Okay.
So. You barely scratch, barely a flesh wound. You take 1 point of edge damage as it barely, in fact, probably just a little bit of flames licking at your face as its claw comes right in front of you. So 1 point of edge is all, and that was on a 9. So now we go all the way down to 1, and the Colonel is ready to go. You still have Aaron. Technically, still have Aaron on your shoulder.
Yeah, I'll still hold her. How many? How close are the zombies to the doorway? Are they like 5 feet down the corridor, or where are they?
They moved about, between 5 and 10 feet out of the room.
Okay, all right. I'll walk. And all 3 of the zombies have already acted.
Yes.
I'm on the bottom. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna walk up. I pull out my cigar and I place it on a ledge somewhere in the hallway. Have my blaster out. I'll walk up to the zombie. I'll kick at its knee point blank, and I will auto unload on him, which is basically the feature of the gunfighter, where I don't take disadvantage in close, and then I can do the auto attack with any non single shot weapon.
Did you put me down?
Nope.
Yes, that's that.
All right.
Okay.
Just checking.
You're still on my shoulder.
Yes. So that is going to impose, just by virtue of keeping her on your shoulder, that'll impose disadvantage on your attack.
Okay. Well, you can't have double. You can't have double disadvantage.
No.
No, you can't have double disadvantage. No.
Okay, cool. Because I still want to do the auto shot.
Oh,
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. If not, I'll dump her next to the cigar. It's up to you. Whatever makes
Yeah,
sense.
you.
I think it just
Interesting.
stays at 1 disadvantage.
Yeah.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. I'm wondering to myself, if you already have disadvantage and you try to do something else that would impose disadvantage, that just basically means you can't do
Gotcha.
it, which I think is kind of the way I'm leaning.
Yeah.
So if you want to put her down, you can definitely do that. You don't think,
That's fine.
and you're not going to hurt her or anything.
I will then eyeball the zombies and shoot the one that looks the most burnt and fire away a single shot.
Okay. Aaron, you get put on the ground, and the tentacles are rapidly winking out. In fact, you're one of the few tentacles. You have one of the few tentacles remaining over your head.
What are you doing? You're making them go away.
We're
Okay.
keeping you from being eaten.
I'm trying
Go
to
for
find
it, Colonel.
Let me find the button here. Which I'll click on attack.
Yeah, there
Do
should
it?
be a D20 looking button near your attack, or near the weapon entry.
Oh, there it is. Natural 1.
Again, you can spend edge.
Yep, you can spend edge on that if you'd like.
I'm not going to bother. He's pretty casual right now because last time we trounced him. So I'm going to stay where I am, but I do want to try and impose myself in between the zombies and Precious.
Aw.
She spends a lot of time doing her hair, guys. Back off.
The
You
robots
can do
spend a
that.
lot of time doing my hair.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. You can definitely do that. Because they're already in melee, that's going to impose a opportunity attack. If you want to still do that.
To get in the way, in between?
Yep.
Sure. Let's do it.
I thought opportunity attacks only happened when you tried to get out of their range, and you can kind of move around the edge of their
That
range.
is, yep, you're 100%. That is absolutely correct. But in this particular case, since they're already scratching at her face, he's going to try and get in between them and the
Right.
and the zombies. The husks, pardon me, husks. Oh, critical
Ouch.
hit.
Nice.
Okay, so yeah, one of them, you get in between them, and two of them are rebuffed and kind of pushed back, and then the third one, for whatever reason, gets under or over, I guess, your weapon, and gets its teeth right on your shoulder, right in between your vest and your neck, and it's going to do. It's going to take 14 points of edge.
How does it get reduced by armor?
I have
Armor
ballistic-
only works if you're going to be dropped to 0.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
So I have 10 left. So you had 14, right?
Okay, yeah. So you spend So you spend the 14, or you expend or taken for 14 edge, and you manage to get up just enough so that it doesn't get its teeth right on you and cause any blood loss. But yeah, it's right in your face. Okay.
Ah,
All right. That'll be top of the initiative then. Doc, Steel.
Acid shotgun.
Okay. You are concerned to some degree of getting at least the Colonel and perhaps Priscilla in the blast.
Or are you concerned?
It's just like, am I really that concerned?
You are conscious of the fact that they might be in the blast.
like the wizard
what-
throwing fireballs in the room.
Does that mean they're going to be in the area of effect, or does that mean I get disadvantage to try not to hit them?
You can take disadvantage on the attack to avoid hitting them. How about that?
Okay.
Otherwise, if you just do a normal attack roll, yes, because it's a 15-degree arc from the barrel and.
Cone. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll try not to zap them.
Okay.
And disadvantage is going to give me. It's a dex attack, so 16 to hit.
Oh, that was your lowest
Worst
roll?
my roll. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Right. Okay. Yeah. Easy. So you come up, put yourself at an angle where at least Priscilla's behind you, and the Colonel's at an angle that's not going to be affected by the blast.
Like over his shoulder.
Splatter. Yeah.
And how much damage is
Hey,
the
Colonel.
acid shotgun? Since I didn't get the
Colonel.
stats on it.
Yeah. So it has ammo of 8 of D8. So
D8s.
basically, yeah. So if you roll, unless you roll a 1 on a D8, you just can keep
Right.
firing it.
No, but I mean, how much damage does it do? Because the standard one
damage.
does.
I apologize. Yeah, I'm
worries.
sorry. It does 2d4 acid damage.
Okay. Because the regular one does 2d6 ballistic. That's what I was asking. 6 points each.
Okay, great, very similar. So they are already on fire, very similar to the fire damage. They will continue to take 1d4 acid damage until they scrape the acid from themselves.
At the beginning
yeah.
of their turn.
Yep. Yeah.
I'll just roll that both now.
And I'm sorry, what was the total on that one?
6 points.
6 points. Okay.
6.
Fortunately, we don't have to worry about that because that definitely reduces the remaining 3 to puddles as they lose the ability to stand or crawl or anything like that. Claw, rather, as the acid does its work. And they drop to the ground and start to dissolve.
Why would you do that? They were beautiful.
And yes, consequently, Aaron, you are the sole remaining tendril that you can see in the void.
I turn to Dr. Patterson. And I say, as you can see, we have concerns that these bodies may need to be disposed of more safely.
Yeah, he is speechless, but he does nod his head. Yeah. Yes. Sure. Yes. Absolutely. Understood. The morgue itself is mostly cinders now. It's not burning or anything like that. The remains of the sheets, there's still some embers from that kind of stuff. But the bodies, there may be some flames licking at the bodies in there, but for the most part, you're not in any danger of burning down the morgue like you did the apartment complex.
Seeing that Aaron is having distress, I'm going to try to use medicine to see if I can help with this, or is there anything that I can do to kind of help her out of this?
Yeah. You break out your med kit or your doctor's bag and make a roll.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a good roll. My medicine.
I don't need to, but if I can do a help action, I will.
I will always
do you have you can only help if you have medicine. Do you have the medicine skill?
I lean into her.
He does.
And I just splash water in her face.
With the wonderful distraction caused by the Colonel, I ended up with a 22.
Okay, it worked.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, 22 for sure. You so in addition to the water being splashed on her face, you break open some smelling salts and wave it under her nose, and yeah, she instantly snaps out of it. And you the double vision, Aaron, vanishes as soon as you snap out of it.
I look to Dr. Precious. Dr. Precious, is that tentacle still attached to her?
Give me a perception check real quick. See if your skitterbots are still working.
Milynn, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted, yeah.
15.
15. Yes, it does appear that it is still attached.
Yes, she is still going to die.
Okay. If we're going to follow it, I didn't want to make sure that it only showed up when she was in that state. If we can follow it when she's normal, that's better.
Is it better for who?
We're finding a solution to save her.
Don't need to save. I'm fine.
Aaron, you do have you do gain 1 level of exhaustion.
Tired, but fine.
Tired, but fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So the doctor is he's regaining his wits a little bit. And he's standing up. He's brushed himself off. What on earth was that? I've never seen anything of the sort.
As we mentioned,
I gesture towards Dr. Precious and let her continue.
Like I told you, as I'm like working on my squirrel, it's zombies. Now you could have listened to me, but you chose otherwise, and we've all made our choices here, sir.
Yes.
So Dr. Patterson, we appreciate your help in this. Hopefully you'll be able to clean up this mess.
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. But
there was a gentleman on the stairs as we came in that might be able to help if you need someone to clean this up. He was already cleaning something.
Yes, I'm sure Billy is very happy to stay late after he was already preparing to go home.
But we apologize for the disruption, but it was something obviously that needed to be taken care of.
Sorry we had to firebomb you.
He's like, so he's finally dawning on him that you saved his life, and he's like, thank you. I don't even know what else to say.
Oh, no problem. We will consider this part of the normal terms of business. Just now that we have a business relationship, I'm sure that we can continue this in the future.
Certainly, yes. Pleasure. It's been a pleasure, Dr. Steele, Dr. Precious. It's been a pleasure meeting you, Colonel, and you, Aaron.
Yeah. Who are you again? Oh.
Aaron, you might need some coffee.
Coffee.
If I could get the notes of your analysis of these bodies so far, that would be a great help.
Notes?
Were you not doing any investigation as to their symptoms that showed the cause of death?
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course. Please, back to my office, please. Are they all? Are they going to stay down this time? Are they truly dead?
We believe that this has terminated their connection to the void. Yes.
Unbelievable.
it tends to be best if we do reduce the bodies to ash or cinders.
Indeed, I will put that in my notes as well. I will add that to my notes. Yes, please, back to my office.
Aaron, is there any sort of material that would block any connection to the void? Some metal or something?
Why would you want to? Wait, what?
Is there some sort of material that we could encase these bodies in for safety so that we can continue to investigate them without having to destroy them, that would terminate any connections, like the tendrils that you keep saying you see?
They went through the walls.
I
So-
understand that. Is there any magical metal or something that they're infused with aether that could prevent this?
Let me think.
What about a cycling etheric field running a frequency bandwidth of 900 nanometers to say 1200?
What? That's. I'm not a scientist.
Hmm.
I have no idea. As far as I can tell, it goes through everything. I haven't seen it stopped by anything, but if you want to put them all in a glass box, I'm sure I don't know, grease them up so they can't get a hold.
The only thing I could think of, Dr. Patterson, was possibly if you suspend them, they wouldn't have any traction and they wouldn't be able to get any leverage to attack anyone.
Traction? Yeah, I mean, he's still very flustered, obviously.
Yeah. As we're walking back to his office, yes, if you took the body and you hung it, suspended it so it had no ability to gain any leverage through pushing off of a surface or anything, as long as you kept anyone away from immediate reach of the mouth or the hands, it should be mostly safe. I wouldn't say using meat hooks, that seems a little disrespectful, but perhaps something to suspend it.
Yeah, he says the word leverage like it's the first time he's like admiring the word leverage. Leverage. Yes, quite. We will look into it. We'll look into it immediately. So you get back to his desk, and interestingly enough, the notes that he was trying to put into the doctor's bag before are the notes that he has on these corpses, or not so corpses. And he says, I mean, I'll need these to file my final report, but you can have them overnight if you promise to bring them back.
Oh, definitely. I'm sure we could make copies by then.
Very good. Well, he says, thank you again for saving me. I need to tend to this wound.
Understandable. You seem to be slightly... Do you need help? Here. And I pull out a bandage.
Ah, that's a good lad. That's a good
Put
lad.
it on his
Thank
head.
you.
Yeah. I'll convey...
That's my mouth. That's my nose.
Is there any information you'd like to convey to the detective?
Oh, as in you're gonna take word to him?
Yeah. Correct. I figured you had these notes for a reason. You were probably going to be doing some analysis. I didn't know if you had found anything so far that you may wish us to convey, since we're going to be speaking to him anyway.
No, he says, let me think about it a little bit. Given the context of the situation this evening, I mean, that certainly puts a different perspective on my analysis up to this point. So let me ponder it. But certainly, if you do talk to the detective or any constables in the city, be sure to tell them to be careful. This is atrocious.
It is. If you have anyone in the factory area that knows of any of these locations, if you can convey that to us as well, that would be most appreciated.
Knows of
any of these dens where they're finding these bodies, or individuals that could be connected with the distribution of this. I'm assuming you have some interaction with the police down here that are dealing with this drug problem.
Certainly. He goes off on a short tirade about he's not mad because you just saved his life, but he's like, I'm certain that I have no idea where any of such den of
not
inequity
personally
would be.
But if you would happen to know someone who is dealing with this by picking up these bodies, obviously they're being transported here from somewhere.
Certainly. Well, I mean, most of the time we just find them in the street. But
truly.
I will certainly, yes. Alleyways and,
where did you put the rest of the bodies?
Vagabonds perish.
Are all the bodies here, or have you disposed of some already?
No, my dear. As soon as No one claims them after 72 hours. They're incinerated.
Oh, good.
Have we been hearing any reports of these incidences happening, this drug problem happening in other sections of the city that might have these bodies at other morgues? They may be encouraged to take disposal as a necessary step.
Well, I can assure you, up until this very moment, there was no need to discuss the matter with anyone, any of my colleagues in the other districts of the city. However, I certainly will take the time now to inquire as to whether or not they're experiencing a similar uptick in deaths.
We appreciate that. And for their own safety, I think they would appreciate that as well.
Certainly, certainly. Says, well, if there's nothing else, I feel the need for a glass of whiskey coming on.
I looked at the Colonel. Colonel, did you have something?
There's one more bit, Dr. Patterson. So
Yes.
this has not happened yet anywhere else, and you're connected to the other morgues in the city, correct?
As far as I know, you mean being
There's been no
attacked by the
reports.
dead?
No reports
it
of
has
bodies
not
standing
happened.
up and moving.
No,
Yeah,
certainly not.
All right. So when you find these bodies, can you encourage your comrades amongst the various morgues in the city to incinerate immediately?
I looked at the Colonel. I'm like, I believe we just had that discussion, but yes, that is a good idea.
All right. That's that part.
Yes, I most
This
certainly will. That will
particularly good
be,
cigar.
in fact, the first part of my notes that I distribute to my colleagues.
That's all.
Okay, anybody else? Aaron, you're feeling quite tired and exhausted after your ordeal.
Yeah, the ordeal where they threw water and smelling salts on me.
That's not what I was talking about, but sure, yes.
Well, I say we should go speak to the fellow at the hospital to see if we can find where they're sourcing this material.
Okay. We will
Yeah.
do that after a short 10-minute break. So we will be back in about 10 minutes after a brief intermission and continue the investigation of High Life. Thank you very much again to our sponsors, Frog God Games, Trollord Games, Gaxland, Gaxx Worx, Hero Forge, and Fantasy Grounds. We will be back in 10 minutes. need to work on my timing because I keep forgetting I've got that stinger in there that is the 2 seconds. And we're back. Welcome back. If you stayed with us, thank you. If you stayed with us through the break, rather, thank you very much. This is Strange and Grim, which is a campaign setting for the Everyday Heroes RPG. We are in the middle of an investigation into the illicit new street drug called High Life. And in fact, they just saved the coroner at the local morgue from a certain death by reanimated corpses of people, and are now deciding what to do as they continue their investigation, which is what?
You've got a level of exhaustion, right, Char?
Yeah.
Can we mitigate that by taking a short rest or coffee or something?
Yeah, can we take a short rest in a coffee shop?
Yes. Yeah, so we call it a breather in Strange and Grim, but yes, absolutely, you can take a breather and take a load off, grab a cup of coffee, eat a chicken sandwich and chicken salad sandwich. And
can you get rid of exhaustion with a breather, or is that because normally it takes a full?
I think you have the ability to help
off.
her with that. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. I've got one thing that I can do to do that.
Normally, you would not be able to. You would need a full rest, or you would have to be off the clock for 8 hours in order to reduce the level of exhaustion. But
remind me what exhaustion does.
First level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At first level, I think it's. I believe it's disadvantage on skill checks.
Mm-hmm.
That won't make a difference because I've been failing them anyway.
It starts stacking with other problems very quickly.
Yeah.
You'll really fail them. At the coffee shop, we'll take that break. So over a cigar and a hot dog, I'll recover 7 points.
Yeah, so it's after the normal work day. It's roughly 6 o'clock in the evening or so. The diner's not crowded, but there are definitely people in there. It's a Greasy Spoon place that you've been several times in your meanderings around the factory level, and the waitress doesn't know you. You don't recognize her, but certainly they seem to be welcoming. So you come in and grab a booth and sit down, and Aaron is still very much in a haze, very hangover like.
I'm gonna order some coffee and pie.
Okay. Coffee and pie coming up.
Is the pie supposed to cure her, Doc?
No, the pie is supposed to cure my rumbles in my stomach. I'm hungry.
I'll be rubbing my neck, which will be the signification of me recovering my hit points. So I'll start with 2d8 because I need at least 2d8. I can do up to 3. So I got 7, so I'll roll one more. So that's going to be 10 points back.
Okay.
I'm down 4. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I say so. I do have an ability, which is called encouraging banter, and once per long rest, I can add a d6 hit points extra during the break, kind of like the bardic kind of thing. So, so I'll add.
That's a leader ability, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a leader. Yeah.
So
Great.
I'll go ahead and add, or is it d6 or d8? It's a d6, right?
I think you have d6 at this level. Yeah.
I like a bard. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm down. So I got 10. I'm down 4. So let's roll at d6. What do we got? Okay, I'm down 2. No problem.
Okay. Is that for the? I thought that was a group ability. Don't you give that to the group?
It says me or it says
or.
You encourage. So you encourage camaraderie. Yeah. Well, so it says whenever you and your allies finish. So you and any ally that can hear you. Okay, great. So, but nobody else has been hurt.
Dr.
Milynn lost. She lost 1 point of edge. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So I take her hair and I kind of fix it, so that's her extra hit point back.
Perfect.
Well,
I'm like a little offended by him like touching my hair. I'm like,
just consider me a hair
almost out of the booth, trying to avoid the hair movement, but
Aaron,
regains the edge point regardless.
Aaron, are you gonna order something?
No,
Dr. Precious?
I will order pasta. They
Okay.
always have pasta at diners, but it's like gross,
Yep.
terrible pasta, and I wish to order that pasta.
Okay.
So
Yes. Tomato noodles coming up.
My plan is once they bring Erin her drink, I'm gonna use the plan to get her exhaustion removed.
coffee
Okay.
and pie.
Okay.
Nothing like coffee and pie.
2 coffees and 2 pies coming up.
Doc, you ordered. What about you, Colonel?
I got my hot dog, thanks.
All right. Sloppy noodles, 2 coffees and 2 pies, and a wiener coming up. All right. So while you're waiting,
And the wiener would like a hot dog, please.
she gives you an askance sidelong glance, but nods and goes off. All right. So anything else while you're waiting on the food?
No.
Okay. All right. So it comes out 5-7 minutes later, clearly prepared in advance and ready to eat. So the breather typically only takes a minimum of about 20 minutes, but you can take up to however long you need. So
2-week breather.
Go ahead and make your roll. Go ahead. What?
Is it a 2-week breather?
2-week breather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Erin's sipping at her coffee and nibbling.
It's not a roll. It just
I'm
it just removes the condition. So I will remove the condition.
Safe.
Yep. All right. And it just removes it, right? You just point of genius and it removes it. Okay.
Yeah.
You feel much better. This is the best coffee you think you've ever had, Erin.
I gotta come back here. This is great.
Yeah. It's like some sort of Brazilian bean or something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you guys finish up your meal and the coffee, and everybody's feeling quite reinvigorated.
All right. Once we're done, unless I guess anybody's doing anything else, I suggest we go to the hospital.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah. All right. Great. Yeah. So the hospital, you're kind of in the part of town that used to be more of the government services areas anyway. So you were near the police station and the morgue and the hospital, such as it is nearby as well. This particular location, however, is not what you would call. It doesn't necessarily meet your standards of care, but there are some doctors and reportedly other medical professionals that are moving people about in wheelchairs and gurneys and stuff like that.
Charity hospitals always run on low budgets, so it's not surprising.
Yep.
Okay,
so there's a lady, a female Jotun that is behind the desk, and she's kind of hunched over and looking at something in her paperwork, and she's smoking a cigarette.
Excuse
what
me,
can
ma'am.
I do for you?
Yeah. I'm here on behalf of the constabulary. I would like to speak to an individual that was brought in yesterday from the fire that happened to have an injury on his foot where it was missing.
Fire? That was a good one. You got a lot of people off of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fire with a foot. Oh, that's right. Old Harris. Yeah. That's what he said his name was anyway. Harris Church, I'm sure. Harris Church. Sure that is. Yeah. What you police or something? You flatfoots?
No, I'm a doctor. We're working with the constable, detective Sam Briggs. He's having us look into this because of the incident, and we were available while he was dealing with other things.
Okay, she says, I don't know Sam Briggs, but if you're a doctor, we could certainly use your help and take a look at him.
Sure. We'd be more than willing to do an examination.
Were they all doctors too?
Um, they're associates.
Distance.
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
You're mute,
Ah.
Milynn. Dr. Precious, you're muted.
Yes. I'm a psychology doctor.
So
I'm
what
sure
now?
there's some trauma that is going to have to be dealt with.
To analyze the patient for, yes, trauma.
I'm here to ask him about questions about a zombie apocalypse. Of course,
I
I'm
have
kidding.
that.
Yeah, I look at the colonel. I'm like, that's the deadpan humor that I expect from you.
Of course, I'm kidding.
As I'm saying to
Right.
this to him, I also still have my mouse hanging from my hand in one hand.
Doc, they always talk like this?
They're eccentric. It tends to lighten up the mood and it relaxes the patients when they're dealing with some fairly morbid subjects.
What do I care? I'm off in 10 minutes anyway. Sure, go back. He's in room 49.
Thank you very much.
You notice that? Everyone's always got plans around here. No one ever wants to be at their job.
Would you want to stay here and do this job?
Nope.
I don't know.
Okay.
They said the fire was good.
I think they meant they got a good bit of business.
They pay?
More than likely, this sort of institute gets money provided by the government for each of the individuals.
Yep.
It would be highly unlikely that those down here could afford quality care otherwise.
Yep, that's right. Still significantly limited on who will work down here just because of the vicinity of,
Yeah.
just because of where it's at. But yeah.
Nothing like going to the hospital and getting threatened to get shot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was room 49.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll go to the room 49.
Okay. Yeah, you go down the hall, similar build style to the morgue, actually. So porcelain tiles, and it goes all the way up to about mid-wall, and then there's that weird teal blue color paint as you're going down. But it's wide. It's probably about 15 feet wide, as Dr. Precious realized in the morgue, so that gurneys and wheelchairs and everything can go past each other. So you go down, you have to make a left to get to room 49, and yeah, doors closed. There's a chart on the wall, and nobody seems to be paying much attention to you at all.
Pick up the chart and walk into the room.
Okay. Does everybody go in?
Yep.
Yes. I will put my mouse into my pocket.
Is it a solo occupancy or is it a shared room?
It is solo occupancy, yes.
Okay. Walk in. Anything on the chart of note other than the fact that he's got his foot blown off?
Yeah, so, of note, nothing that you didn't expect. So they had to amputate the foot. Patient is currently in recovery and expected to, without the ability to get a prosthetic, he's expected to leave out of here in a day or two in a wheelchair or crutches or something.
Okay.
Hey, Doc Precious,
Yes.
with all your technology and gizmo knowledge, would you be able to make this man a foot if we wanted to? Doesn't have to be a great foot, just a foot.
If I wanted to, yes, but I do not want to, so no.
Well, we could negotiate with him. But we can always pull out the last minute. You don't have to leave a foot to stand on.
Is Harris awake?
He is very drowsy looking, drowsy appearing. He's not alert at all, but he is, kind of gives the sidelong glance as the door opens. He's like, "What is it now, Doc?"
I come in and looking at the chart. Mr. Church, we're here to see how you're recovering.
Okay, roll, everybody that goes in the room, roll a perception check.
It's a crit.
Nice.
I cleverly took that roll from you.
I got a 4.
So I rolled a 20 on the die, but I have a +2, so 22.
Okay. Doc Steele,
15.
Colonel.
17.
Okay. It's pretty obvious that you say Mr. Church and he doesn't, like, he completely blank. There's no idea who Mr. Church is.
Yeah. So we're here to ask you some questions.
So he sits up in the bed is reclined a little bit, so he's kind of laying and sitting. And as soon as you start talking questions, he sits up quite a bit. He's like, I don't know nothing. Who are you? What are you? The Flatfoots again?
How's your
I already
pain?
told them everything I know.
How is your pain?
Oh, he relaxes noticeably. It freaking hurts, Doc. I lost my foot.
I was afraid of that. Let me see if I can give you something to help with that. I'm going to go look and see if there's any sort of anesthetics around to get him into a more persuasive mood.
All right, you roll me a medicine check. What is everybody else doing while he's looking around the room?
I'll sit down next to him. Cigar?
I'm gonna
that's
take
mighty
out.
kind of you, friend. I would have a cigar.
Right.
They don't let, what are they?
No,
they
no
don't let you
smoking in
smoke
here. No smoking in here. It is explosive.
I'm gonna take my mouse from my pocket and be like, it'd be a shame if you lost the other foot.
It would. Dr.
Aaron, what are you
What
doing?
were our questions?
I'm trying to see into the void because I miss it.
My medicine check was a 22.
22. Okay, hold that thought. All right,
Yeah.
Aaron, give me what's your? It's just a perception check, right?
A perception check against DC 12, and I'm assuming I can use my ether crystal proficiency.
Yep. Yeah, use the tool. That's a tool proficiency.
Okay.
I'll get to you in a second, Dr. Precious.
I'm just going to use this because it's in there. 16.
Okay. Yeah. So unlike the double vision that you experience when you're on the drug, it's more of a feeling and auras and sort of psychedelic or not psychedelic. What's the term? Psychic. Thank you. Like psychic type feelings, and that's something that you've felt your whole life. You just kind of experience the void. You haven't never, which is why the drug was so enticing to you in the begin with, is because you've never seen it before. You just sort of feel it. Yeah. And so that's in this case, that's exactly what's happening again. And you are able to quickly associate the feeling of the tendril still attached to you, and noticeably Harris does not have any such tendril, and neither do any of your friends. But you, it's also very, in this particular room, by virtue of being a hospital, this room there's all kinds of weaves and stuff in the void as well. So you get the feeling it's very heavy, a very heavy and oppressive feeling in this room, but distinctly you do feel that tendril still coming out of you.
Okay. That's the void vibe.
The void vibe.
Yeah.
All right.
Vibe.
So Dr. Precious starts swinging this mouse by the tail around, talking to Harris, and he immediately is like, "What's going on here?" He tries to get out of the bed. Not you again.
I just sigh.
We have questions, and you're gonna answer them.
This could have gone so much easier if you just let me give him a shot, Colonel.
Well.
So
Harris,
he tries to bolt away. Yeah, we can do.
I'll try and hold him down because I'm sitting next to him. Right? Remember, I sat down next to him, so I would just stick my arm out.
Yeah, you did. I want you guys to roll initiative, though.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll. It'll only be one action, but I just want to see if he goes first.
He's gonna go before me.
15.
7.
17.
Oh, whoops! Wrong screen. I tried to roll it in YouTube chat. That doesn't work.
That would be nice.
Yeah, we need a YouTube bot.
YouTube, you need to look into that.
Like an extension.
Yeah.
Oh, more code in YouTube chat. That's all we need.
Very true. Very true. All right. So he rolls a 20. So he bolts he rolls away from the colonel before he can grab him, and plants one foot down, and then as he's trying to go towards the window, which is in the opposite of the door, forgets that he doesn't have a foot, and he instantly face plants. He face plants. So just imagine having, what, he's probably got 5 or 6 inches less of leg, and before, as the adrenaline kicks in, he tries to bolt, but his missing foot obviously fails him, and so he falls towards the window and is still trying to crawl that direction. So that was a 20. Who rolled higher, or who rolled in the vicinity of 20?
I rolled a 17.
Oh, is this initiative?
17. All right, Doc Precious.
If he's fallen on his face, I'm gonna do the thing where you like walk, and my feet are gonna be right in front of him, and then I'm gonna like crouch down and be like, "You're not going nowhere till you answer our questions." And then I'm gonna use my Skitterbot squirrel and shove it into his mouth like a gag, so the nanobots create a little gag.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he's okay. All right. So that's happening. Who's next?
Aaron.
Aaron?
Me? I got it.
Yeah, you see the skitterbots starting to crawl into his facial orifices.
I thought you wanted him to talk.
We might need to tie him down first, though.
True.
Or tie him up.
Oh, thanks, Kelly. I just saw that you gave me my YouTube roll. I appreciate that. Got a 12. All right, Aaron, what are you doing?
We'll just make chat roll for us.
I will. Is there anything in the room I can use as like rope? Actually, I think I have some. No, I don't.
Yeah, there's rubber tubes and all kinds. There's plenty of tubing or whatever.
I mean, there's bed sheets and stuff too. We can
I'll
just
get
rip those up.
like rubber tubes you like wrap around the hands or the wrist to do the blood draws.
Yeah, like tourniquet tube or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll like just tie his hands behind his back.
Okay. So Doc Steele, I think you're next. You see the Halpkin and the Dayon both down there. Like one is shoving skitterbots in its mouth, and the other one is the guy's mouth. The other one is tying him up.
I just shake my head as I walk over and go, "You always make this more complicated than it needs to be." And I hit him with the sedative.
Okay, so he's struggling. And he's been sort of his escape attempt has been stymied, but as soon as you give him the sedative, he's like, oh. Right. I mean, within seconds he relaxes.
Yeah. All right. Let's get him back up into the bed where we can talk more easily. Colonel.
Yeah. I was going to do this the nice way for once, but
I agree.
I take my cigar out of his pocket.
Okay.
And I look at Precious. I say, "Do your thing, my friend."
Do we want to move him to the bed? He's on the floor right now.
Oh, sorry, I didn't notice that because we're in a virtual setting.
We should definitely move him to the bed. Just so it doesn't look so suspicious. And I think we should tie him to the bed. That way, if anyone peeks their head in here, we're just working on a patient. Helping them.
He doesn't need to be tied up. The sedative I've given him will keep him docile for a few hours, and he's probably going to be more willing to listen to us.
If he slaps me in the face, it's on you.
I totally agree.
Pardon
you
me.
might want to just stay out of arm's reach.
Yes, he is still awake. It's just he's very docile and malleable. Yeah.
This isn't a truth serum. I haven't worked that up yet, but this does help. Colonel, you said you had some questions.
Yeah. So he's awake now? No?
Mm-hmm.
He is awake. Yes, he's awake.
All right. All right, Harris. So all we need to know is where you're getting your drugs from. Who's the main supplier? That's all. And you can have a cigar. We'll give you one more dose of this happy juice running through your veins.
Okay, give
or
me
you can have
a...
another to the foot.
Who knew Doc Precious was the heavy?
Go Good cop, bad cop, and the colonel's the good cop. All right.
And
I'm trying to decide if that's intimidation or negotiation now.
I'm
I think
definitely
it's
Me,
trying,
I'm definitely trying to intimidate.
and I'm trying to be persuasive. So I don't know which one you want to do. I'm trying to give him drugs and a cigar, and tell him we just need one bit of information.
Right. Okay. So give me a persuasion check with advantage, with the advantage of intimidation.
And then I'm also going to use one of my leader abilities, which is charm. So it says level 2. So what does that mean when I use that?
At second level, that was what power it gives you. Your third level, so you've got that power.
Did I just use a influence point?
If I believe so, yeah. I think it costs a point of influence, correct?
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to use that because I want to make sure I succeed with this because it's important. So I'll roll advantage twice. So it's going to be 2d20 plus 5 for my persuasion. So here's a 2d20 plus 5. I'm going to roll twice, and then we're going to add a d6 after that. So yeah, good thing I did that then. 12 plus a d6 is going to be 16. Not amazing, but not crap.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So he like cigar. He tries to grab. I mean, like not grab for it. He's just sort of reaching for it, clumsily reaching for the cigar. Like, oh, that'd be nice, cigar. And
made contact.
Nobody. He says nobody. I can't. Nobody knows where. I'm not supposed to tell nobody where Cersei is.
Cersei.
Yeah, Cersei. You know, Cersei. Not supposed to tell her where she is.
Where isn't she?
Yeah.
You're small.
Yeah, tell you what. Let's go through every address here in the city and leave the one out where she is. Or I can just tell us where she is.
Now that sounds like a fun game.
Maybe we can narrow it down by district first.
How about tell me the building next to where she's not?
Okay, yeah, he's well, she's definitely not at the grocery store. She's definitely not at and he indicates a bar. He indicates a bar in an area that is more upscale in the factory district, and that's not saying a whole lot, but it's relatively clear of crime, and that's largely because of the protection money that's paid out by the people there to the gangs to keep the area kind of clean. But yeah, he mentions a couple of places that it's not, and gives you sort of a proximity of where that area might be. Mm-hmm. This is fun.
And hypothetically, if we were to bump into her and you're not telling us where she is, what exactly does she look like?
So he thinks about it for a minute because he's struggling thinking in the negative in his current condition. So he's like, she definitely does not have no hair.
I believe you said you weren't allowed to tell where she is, but that doesn't mean you can't tell us what she looks like.
You're smart. Yeah. So he gives you a description of a Jotun female who's actually give me anybody have Streetwise? Do people have
Aaron
Streetwise?
does.
I believe I do, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me a Streetwise check.
Wow.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Oh, actually, you've probably talked to Cersei before. So this is a Jotun who's been in the business for years, and you're surprised to hear that she's associated with gang members because she's not a gangster by trade, but she definitely is a opportunist and has dealt in illegal activities like her entire life. So you know her through opportunities that you've been given to acquire her services from time to time. Not directly from her, so you've maybe bumped into her at a bar or something like that, but her associates and people that are in her circles you've worked with in the past, so you are quite familiar with what she looks like. She probably wouldn't remember you though, but yeah, you're surprised to hear that she's dealing with gangs, because historically she's always been kind of above that.
Does she have a last name?
Does she
Nope,
have
just goes by Cersei.
any sort of magic that I know about?
Does she have any magic?
Mhm.
No, but she's been one of the things that she's been known for in the past is acquiring like
Etheric?
agents, etheric and alchemical type agents. Yeah,
Okay. So
agents in the rest or in the ingredients.
Reagents more
sense.
than active people.
Reagents. There you go. That's a much better word.
yeah. So I tilt my head and I'm like, wait, Cersei?
No, just Cersei, not Cersei. That would be funny.
But I mean, Cersei, and I describe what she looks like.
Cersei. He starts going off on a like the word sounds funny in his head.
Aaron,
what
assume
did
you
you
know
ask him?
where we could find this Cersei?
Yeah, I've worked with her before.
Is she known to work with Sadie? Sadie was trying to stop us from investigating.
She doesn't usually work with gangs at all. More procuring items.
So maybe she's been used
services.
to bridge this service for someone else.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, we need somebody that's working with this entity. Somebody smart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know where to find her, usually.
I'm pretty sure Cersei is the source that these gentlemen were getting their supply from, so...
I didn't tell you nothing.
Nope, you did not. You are quite well in not telling us anything.
But yeah, so the areas that he was describing as places that she is not located is definitely in the vicinity of places where you have crossed paths with her associates in the past.
Which tier is that?
It's still here on factory level.
Okay.
It's that way.
Okay. Lead on.
Okay. Yeah,
Harris,
so
good luck.
Pardon me.
If you need a foot, maybe we'll talk.
Are we leaving him tied to the bed?
He's not tied after we tried them. There's
okay.
no reason to tie him.
Keep your chin up. Hope you don't feel defeated.
Just toe the line and keep doing what you're doing.
He takes that encouragement at face value, not
sure,
not taking the implied joke.
I lean into Doc as we're walking out and say, you know, when you take out the context of the puns, that is some pretty encouraging stuff we're said.
To be honest, I would love to see him clean his life up. He's really not doing well.
Really I'd be hopping out if I was him.
Well, the shoe fits.
That's right. Need to clip these sometime and just make a collection. All right.
No, that's a terrible thing to do to Milynn. Just
okay.
No one said I had to watch them.
So as you would imagine, the caldera in which the city sits sort of ramps up and or slopes up, and as it slopes down, there's a river that goes through the middle of it. As you slope up and get closer to the wall, or the vertical portion of the caldera itself, is typically where you would say it's a little mo better up there. So the area where sounds like the gangs are at least trying to play nice and collecting protection money in order to stave off some of the crime. So it's up closer to the wall of the city.
Gotcha. Well, Aaron, where are we going to see her? Does she have does she have places she frequents, or
I know where to find her associates.
Let's step in the right direction.
You know, They know me.
Yeah.
So I like lead everybody to this bar where I know they occasionally have a table off in the back where they get business.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and that general vicinity of where Harris was describing is the Pennyfoot, and the Pennyfoot is where you have interacted with her associates in the past. So you guys, it's it's a disreputable looking establishment. Doesn't have there's not like a biker gang or anything out front, but it certainly does not look like someplace that you would normally go. Very similar to the bar that you visited early on in your investigation.
Mm-hmm.
However, at this time of day, unlike before, there are quite a few people, and there's some music coming out. Music coming out from the door, and sounds like there's some people having a pretty good time inside.
Right here. This is the place. Sometimes I can come here when I'm not looking for them.
All right. Point them out. Let's go in.
Yep. So I head over to the customary table and, keep an eye out for any of the associates that I recognize.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have an amount of time you would imagine sticking around there, or just gonna close the place down, or what's your goal?
If they don't show up, I'll close the place down.
Do we have that amount of time?
I'm fresh off of coffee and pie.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping.
I thought you were taking us to Cersei.
Yeah.
So does everyone, do all four of you go in together, or are you just sending the Halpkin in, or how's that working?
No, we'll go in.
Okay. Yeah. So
Doc doesn't trust me alone.
Not after watching you zone out. No.
Yeah, very good point. Okay, so you go in, you find a table, and you sit there, and I'm assuming at some point somebody goes up to the bar to get drinks or something to that effect. But it's Aaron does not recognize anyone it's coming up on close to an hour, and you have not seen anybody that you recognize so far.
Do they have any other locations where they might be associated?
They cut it out. Yeah, there's a few. This is usually the best.
Do we need to ask around, or do we want to go somewhere else?
I mean, it's pretty good here. Yeah, I'll ask. Hold on.
Yeah, you're looking at the bottom of your cup, and you're thinking it's probably a good time to go to the bar. So you go up and ask. You go up and ask if they've seen such and such people that you've had contact with in the past, and the guy kind of gives you a blank stare. Doesn't seem to comprehend or recognize the names that you're giving him.
I'm looking to hire Cersei again. So, do you know if anybody's coming in lately?
Give me a perception check.
Quick, she's running down the back alley.
Again?
Is that a 10? Okay. Said, look, I don't know anything about no Cersei. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've been here a bunch. I've hired her before. We know each other.
My friends are watching me. Please.
They come in here. Just come on. Don't be a jerk.
Give me so everybody can either roll a, what is it? Streetwise off of intelligence. I think so. Is that right?
I mean, you can use whatever stat you want.
Streetwise is intelligence.
Is
Oh, not
it-
wisdom. It's wisdom.
But yeah,
Wisdom. Okay, that sounds better. Yeah, so everybody either give me a streetwise or wisdom check, please. Everyone.
I'm going to use my Renaissance thinking to make it intelligence anyway.
Perfect. Good use of it.
Got a 10.
I got a 8.
Doc
18.
Steele, that is. 18. Colonel.
Just a 13.
Okay. So, Aaron, you are starting to get a little heated in your discussion because in fact, you've seen this bartender in here before when you have been in here. So you know he has been around the block and definitely is just, even though he seems to you like he's telling the truth, in the back of your mind that he's just lying to your face. All right. Dr. Precious, you're working on making a mouse or trying to figure out exactly how your skitterbots figured out how to see into the void, and so you're got your head down to the table. Colonel, you're looking around the room and you're looking for more of the, like, who's going to pull a knife on me in this joint? Who's going to pull a knife first? Who am I going to have to cuff their ears? So you're looking more for a threat. However, Doc Steele, you are not looking for threats so much as trying to identify somebody who stands out. And in fact, across the room, you see that there is a Wogan, which is sort of a goblinoid type creature. Not rare, but certainly not a common sight. Probably more so probably more common here in the factory district than anywhere else in the city. Mm-hmm. But you see him discreetly watching your table, and you've noticed the only reason that he stands out is because he's sitting by himself. He's watched Aaron go to the bar. You can see he's kind of amused by that interaction, and then he's covertly trying to maintain tabs on your table as well.
Gotcha. Well, once Aaron comes back to the table,
okay,
I'll eventually come. I'll just be like, whatever, just give me a refill.
He does so. Yep, he refills your pint glass, and you head back over to the table. Okay. She comes back and she's really ticked at the bartender.
Aaron, without looking, if you look over to that corner, and I'll kind of indicate with my eyes, there's
look, but don't look like you're looking.
There's a Wogan over there that seemed to have been very interested in your conversation with the bartender. He seemed to chuckle when you got stymied by him when you were asking about Cersei.
Oh, I'm gonna go punch him.
Might want to talk to him first, but punching might get his attention.
Nobody makes fun of Aaron much.
Pretty sure he was just happy that the bribe that he'd given the bartender to keep things under wraps was working.
Probably, but still, it's so rude.
Okay. So what do we want to do?
I thought we had.
He's cleverly trying to not appear as though he's looking at you or watching you. What'd you say, Colonel?
So moderately frustrated, he says, "Didn't we get a location from this Harris guy?"
No.
You got a not location.
Well,
we have a
got
general
two
area.
not locations. It's supposed to be in the middle. Those not locations, right?
We've got a general area, but we were going to be speaking to our associates to get a more direct line. And Aaron, I thought, do you know that Wogan, or perhaps want to speak to him to find out why he's so interested in keeping Cersei under wraps?
Do I know that Wogan?
Nope, does not ring a bell, or does not look familiar to you.
Don't know him yet.
Sounds like a good time for an introduction.
Okay.
Yeah,
how do you go about that?
I'm looking at Aaron. Assuming you're going to go introduce yourself.
Aaron just takes her mug. She walks over to him and she like sets the mug down and just like sits on the chair. Like she doesn't sit because she wants to be tall. So she like kind of crouches on the chair so that she looks imposing.
Are Wogans about the same size as Aaron?
They're medium-sized creatures. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, they're
No,
medium
about the
sized.
same
They're not
size.
small.
Aaron's small.
No, they're about the same size as Dayon. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They're medium-sized.
And
Okay.
so
So he does not look at all surprised by you getting up and coming over to the table. In fact, he's sort of like preparing himself. He, not nervously, but like, oh, okay, finally, adjusting his shirt and whatever.
for one thing, stop laughing at us. And for another thing, I need to talk to Cersei.
He says, laughing, I would never laugh at you. Please. Vol does not laugh. Even though
Snicker,
he's laughing right now.
smirk, giggle. It's giggling.
Is it giggling? Yes. Yes, I can see how that would be a problem. Okay. He said, please sit. Sit. I have drink. I have drink for you.
I have drink for me.
But this is good drink. Vogan drink.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, it's a shot glass.
I take a shot.
Okay. So you actually kind of beat him to the punch, so he quickly tries to grab another one. I mean, he's got two sitting there, so he downs the other one with you. That's much better. Please sit. Please sit. I just smacked my keyboard. I'm glad that didn't turn anything off.
It's a good thing he grabbed that shot glass because Aaron's been drinking everything in the little thimble that she can get her hands on lately.
What can Vol do for you?
We need to hire Cersei.
Cersei.
I've worked with her a bunch. This is
He
not
spits.
new information.
He spits.
Ugh. What's that about?
He says, I can get you to Cersei, sure, but I have one request. I know that you look as though you have the high life. Do you have some high life?
I wish.
You wish, me too. He says, so he clearly is disappointed by that. He was hoping that, as you actually give me your... No, you have to tell me you're going to do that. Yeah, that's fine.
I pull out a vial and I'm like, this is all I have.
That's good. We can share. We can split.
It's
It's an
empty.
empty vial.
I licked it out already.
Oh, okay. He's downtrodden. He looks very downtrodden, and he says, "Well, I can tell that you have taken of the high life before, no?
What was
Yes."
the first clue? Yeah.
He says, if you can get me more high life, I will help you find the watchful eye.
If I could find the watchful eye, maybe I could get some freaking high life.
That is my price. I must insist.
Fun fact, if you take too much, you turn into a husk. Which
That is only for the weak. Only the weak.
only the weak. That's a good point. Yeah, I think you're right. All right, I'll get you some.
Great, that's great. We have a deal. And he motions to the bartender who pours another couple shots and starts to head your way. So he mentions the watchful eye again, and he's talking about Cersei, but in tones in a manner that makes you think that maybe she's not important. Like he doesn't seem to give her. You've mentioned her name a couple times. He's like, well, Cersei, sure. She's middle management.
Yeah. I need to talk to the source, this watchful eye.
All can get you to Watchful Eye.
Yeah?
All was a member of the Watchful Eye, but High Life is much better.
That's true. I don't know what it was, but it's definitely better. You can see everything.
Everything I know. This I know. I see now. You see, you have attachment now.
Oh, you can see it too?
Ah, clearly.
Cool. What happens? Do you know what it's for? Do you know what this does?
Yeah, so he goes into this not rant, but so much as a excited
Info dump.
Info dump on exposition on his experiences with High Life and everything that he's seen when he's on it, and he has give me a persuasion check real quick.
I occasionally interject with my experiences that were similar, just to egg him on, and also because
so green.
What color is mine? I think it's pink.
Ah, yes, pink. It is pink.
Persuasion. 19.
Oh, dang. Okay. So he tells you that he was a member of this cult at one point called the Watchful Eye, and that once he discovered High Life, though, there wasn't any point to life other than High Life itself. So he has left the cult and he doesn't like those guys anymore. He really just wants to be on the drug all the time, and is desperately searching for more.
How are they associated with the High Life, or are they not?
Now, interestingly enough, he does not appear to be affected in the same way that you saw the drug den folks who were, slowly being eaten away, their souls slowly being eaten away. And I'm sorry, what was your question?
How are they related to the High Life? Are they creating it? Do they sell it? Do they why isn't he getting High Life from them?
Well, because they are strictly prohibited from using it. The members of the cult are prohibited from using it. So
you don't get high on your own
maybe
supply.
Vogt tried some at one point and decided that was no other reason to be in the cult. I mean, the High Life is where it's at, man.
It is. And you seem to be doing amazing on it. How can I learn to be amazing?
Maybe just you be Wogan. You have to be Wogan, and then you can take it.
That. What else can I do?
I'm sorry, you little hapkin. I can't help you. I don't know how. I don't know. I just do. I don't know what I do.
Did you do anything cool at the cult? I don't know. Did they have special drinks? Like this one?
Oh, that was good. And he takes his shot as well. No, he says that there wasn't anything in particular that they did at the cult. They were just prohibited from imbibing the drug itself. Very similar to what Doc Steele had said earlier, that there is some sort of he confesses that he believes that there is some sort of entity that they are communing with in this cult. And they are basically, it's almost like a self-licking ice cream cone where they're able to feed this creature, and this creature in turn provides them with the High Life, which is distributed to various gangs and stuff throughout the city. That's their whole business model.
That is pretty slick. At least
very slick. Yes, it's slick.
Actually,
You know what
it's
is more slick is
after they die.
high life.
It's even slick after they die because they're still connected.
Bull does not know about anything like this.
Oh, well, you should go to the nope, not the morgue. Wait, yes, still the morgue. There's still a couple. You can see it. They're still connected.
Little Halp can talk foolish.
Ah. Listen, they tried to eat me twice. I'm pretty sure I saw what was happening.
Bull thinks maybe you took too much high life,
Yeah, not yet.
huh?
No,
Okay.
no. Look. And she's like, this is a bite mark from the first bite.
Oh, that looks very vicious.
Yeah.
We'll
Fucking
leave
dead
good
guy
scar,
bit
no?
me.
We'll leave
Yeah.
good scar.
Yeah. Gotta keep your scars.
Okay, everybody else sees that the Halpkin and the Wogan are getting along just great. They are laughing, and Aaron has pitched back 2 shots so far, and seem to be getting on just fine.
Well, at least Aaron's got a new friend for the zombie apocalypse.
Doc Precious, do you have one of your robots, the mice, to go